Well, hello again and welcome to our series of podcasts looking at trends in the small business market here in Australia, brought to you by Panasonic and Telstra Business. I'm joined again by Mark Deere-Jones from Panasonic Australia, and our special guest today is Clyde Campbell from the firm Machinery, Automation and Robotics.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, a few people would even probably know that we build robots here in Australia, and your firm is the biggest. How did you get into the robotics business?
Our business was started in 1987 as a partnership between myself and a brother. We've grown from one person back in 87 to 60 people today across Australia, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, national footprint but also international work. It comes through high technology and how to leverage it into certain markets that we partner with our client.
Well, Mark, Machinery, Automation and Robotics was the Panasonic New South Wales Medium Business Award winner in 2008 and then went on to become the Australian Business of the Year.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, we see industries and all companies in Australia who are leading the way through innovation and technology, and as also a leader in innovation and technology, Panasonic was delighted to be aligned with such a company that actually operates in Australia.
Clyde, what was it like being recognised in that way?
The key part is that recognition, not only for our company but our team. It's a real kick along for our team to be able to understand that they're benchmarked against the best in Australian business, not only in our industry but across the board.
Can you let us know how strategic partnerships have been critical to your growth?
Yeah, I'd put partnerships as one of our three key areas that have made us grow. Partnerships would be number one, great people's number two, and strategy/action is number three. So on partnerships, we started life as a company that went into partnership as an agent for a company in Melbourne. Started from a one-person company. We're still with that company today and owning the same market share as we did back 3 years into the actual relationship.
Clyde, you manage really big projects for companies and you build the robots basically to fit. That must be a very complex and time-consuming operation. How does that work?
Yeah, what we need to start is with understanding what the client's needs are and what's the end in mind. So we agree what the solution looks like when it's complete, and then we work our way backwards from there. We can add all the technology and the engineering to a solution, but what we really need to understand is what the customer wants to see as success in the project. We need to document that, milestone it. We call it our MAR triple check. After we start the project, how do we check at that point in time that we're going to meet the goals of the project? How do we meet midway through the project that we actually we are on track for that? And then once we are at sign-off stage, how do we all agree that we've met the criteria of the project?
Well, one of the things that I think amazes me with your organisation is not only have you got partnerships in Australia, but you've actually got partnerships overseas, which is incredibly exciting and innovative. Are there any different challenges by having overseas partners?
Oh, most definitely. There's challenges with communication. Because we're so far away, Australia, it's a fantastic spot to live, but it's a long way away from the rest of the world. For ourselves, we do a lot of email, but a lot of voice communication, a lot of areas that we might do conferences by video, but then face-to-face as well. But the communication is the key. How do we be able to make sure they feel the same way about the project as we feel? If we're successful, they're successful, and the key part is we think of our partner before we think of ourselves. If we can grow their business, we're going to be successful by default.
Look, having worked with you since you've been the winner, one of the things I'm very interested in, could you perhaps talk very specifically about one of your current projects?
Well, we've managed 30 projects at any one time, so it's a diversity of projects we'd have on board. One that we could mention at the moment would be in, say, the cupcake industry, where we've got a medium-sized family business, 19,800 cupcakes an hour they want to be able to produce, and how we'd be able to automate that. So we're partnering with ABB, which is a large multinational robotics company. They provide the robotic technology, but we do all the end sensors, the end effectors, and all the process flow is all done by ourselves. So their bit part of the business will be 20% of the project, we'd add 80% of the value in the technology.
Absolutely fantastic. And how's the project going?
Very well, yeah. We've passed our mid-stage FATs and we're going to site within the next month. But it really adds a lot of value to those businesses to keep them inside Australia and making sure they don't go offshore.
What gives you the edge?
Our people, our process, and our drive. We need innovation to be successful in our business. Innovation to us is change that adds value. We just can't change for the change's sake. We need to make sure we've well thought out the process and presented that to our clients so they can see the benefit of working with ourselves and the lower risk of working with ourselves.
So how do you actually go about innovation, and how can potential customers see what you're looking at for the future?
Yeah, innovation comes to us from multiple areas. Our people, definitely within our team. but also our clients. Our clients come with the innovative thoughts, they just don't know how to realise those thoughts. And that's up to ourselves, is how do we be able to put together the solution that is achievable, and also to be able to let them know some of those things at this point in time just aren't achievable, but with new technology as it emerges, could be achievable.
Well, Clyde, partnerships are all well and good when things are travelling well, but what do you do when they don't go so well?
Yeah, I suppose it's got to be the start of the journey, and everyone's journey is going to be different as the years unfold. We need to start with our vision and our values well aligned. If they're diverging from our goals and vision, how do we be able to understand is that something that's permanent or something that is only a temporary thing? But if it is a permanent thing, how do we both agree not to be together in the time to come in the most controlled fashion we can?
One of the biggest challenges that even Panasonic has and a lot of our small business customers have is choosing the right partner. How would you go about choosing the right partner?
For ourselves, I suppose it first gets driven by a technology need. What do we need to be able to achieve inside our business with the end in mind is how do we improve our client's business. We can't lose track of what we're all there to do, and that's serve a client. For ourselves, then we go back to the actual supplier partner being the client may be the partner that we're wanting to be able to work with. And how do we then go through what we're trying to achieve out of the actual partnership? And does that suit them as much as it suits us to be successful?
And do you have a sort of written contract or a written agreement that you have a series of, I don't know, measurements that you regularly monitor?
We do, and the agreement's important, I suppose, for what we went through before, is if it's not working, how do we be able to go back and all agree on what the milestones were? We try and have agreements and put them in the bottom drawer and hopefully never use them, but have the regular way of being able to catch up with those people, because how do we continuously leverage up the relationship?
Probably one of the biggest questions that a lot of people wonder is, where do you source them from? And in fact, can you give us a few examples?
Yeah, most definitely. It's multi-pillar for ourselves. It could come from our suppliers, it could come from our clients, or it could come from our team. So for our clients' perspective, we don't only work for one site. Quite often they're a multinational that's across multiple areas in Australia, and how do we get referred from one site being successfully doing projects there to other sites because of our success. But they also may be in one particular business. Someone such as Tip Top makes bread. They also have a grains business and other areas of their segmented larger business case that they can refer us to. If we do the right thing, why wouldn't they refer us to do more work within their business?
Well, Clyde, Mark, thank you very much for joining us, and thanks to you who viewed these webisodes. You too can follow Clyde's success by joining in the Telstra Business Awards for 2012. Nominations are now open on the website telstrabusinessawards.com.au. Thank you once again, and goodbye for now.